government was never meant by God to have such power as the redistribution of wealth. The founders knew this and so structured the Constitution in an attempt to prevent it. James Madison, often called the father of the Constitution, taught, "Government is instituted to protect property of every sort, this being the end of government. That alone is not a just government, nor is property secure under it, where the property which a man has in his personal safety and personal liberty is violated by arbitrary seizures of one class of citizens for the service of the rest." Founding Father Samuel Adams said, "The utopian schemes of leveling, redistribution of wealth, and a community of goods, central ownership of all the means of production and distribution, are as visionary and impracticable as those which vest all property in the crown. These ideas are arbitrary, despotic, and in our government, unconstitutional." Ezra Taft Benson taught, "Once government steps into the aggressive role of redistributing the wealth and providing so-called benefits for some of its citizens, it becomes a means for legalized plunder. It becomes a lever of unlimited power, which is the sought-after prize of unscrupulous individuals and pressure groups, each seeking to control the machine to fatten his own pockets, or to benefit its favorite charities, all with the other fellow's money, of course." Howard W. Hunter taught, "From my own experience in business and as a lawyer and church worker, and from my first-hand observations in this country and other countries of the world, there appears to me to be a trend to shift responsibility for life and its processes from the individual to the state. In this shift there is a basic violation of the law of the harvest, or the law of justice. The attitude of something for nothing is encouraged. The government is often looked to as the source of wealth. There is the feeling that the government should step in and take care of one's needs, one's emergencies, and one's future. What is the real cause of this trend towards the welfare state, toward more socialism? In the last analysis, in my judgment, it is personal unrighteousness. When people do not use their freedoms responsibly and righteously, they will gradually lose these freedoms. The government will take from the haves and give to the have-nots. Both have lost their freedom. Those who have lost their freedom to give voluntarily of their own free will and in the way they desire. Those who have not lost their freedom because they did not earn what they received. They got something for nothing, and they will neither appreciate the gift nor the giver of the gift. Under this climate, people gradually become blind to what has happened and to the vital freedoms which they have lost." President David O. McKay likewise lamented the shift away from the principles of the Constitution towards the welfare state, and he warned against it. He said, "During the first half of the 20th century, we have traveled far into the soul-destroying land of socialism, and made strange alliances through which we have become involved in almost continuous hot and cold wars over the whole of the earth. In this retreat from freedom, the voices of protesting citizens have been drowned by raucous shouts of intolerance and abuse from those who led the retreat, and their millions of gullible youth, who are marching merrily to their doom, carrying banners on which are emblazoned such intriguing and misapplied labels as social justice, equality, reform, patriotism, social welfare." Marion G. Romney taught, "We here in the United States, in converting our government into a social welfare state, have ourselves adopted much of socialism. Specifically, we have to an alarming degree adopted the use of the power of the state in the control and distribution of the fruits of industry. We are on notice, according to the words of the President, that we are going much farther, for he is quoted as saying, 'We're going to take all the money we think is unnecessarily being spent and take it from the haves and give it to the have-nots.' This is the spirit of socialism. We're going to take. It isn't the spirit of we're going to give. We have also gone a long way on the road to public ownership and management of the vital means of production. In both of these areas, the free agency of Americans has been greatly abridged. Some argue that we have voluntarily surrendered this power to government. Be this as it may, the fact remains that the loss of freedom, with the consent of the enslaved, or even at their request, is nonetheless slavery. I myself have watched socialism's growth in our own country and observed it in operation in many other lands, but I have yet to see or hear of its freeing the hearts of men of selfishness and greed, or of its bringing peace, plenty, or freedom. These things it will never bring, nor will it do away with idleness and promote industry, thrift, and self-respect, for it is founded, in theory and in practice, on the principles of the evil one. Eminent founder Benjamin Franklin wrote an essay on the subject of redistribution of wealth and told one of his friends, "I have long been of your opinion that your legal provision for the poor in England is a very great evil, operating as it does to the encouragement of idleness." This has been dubbed counterproductive compassion. Benjamin Franklin's views on the subject can be summarized as follows. Compassion which gives a drunk the means to increase his drunkenness is counterproductive. Compassion which breeds debilitating dependency and weakness is counterproductive. Compassion which blunts the desire or necessity to work for a living is counterproductive. And compassion which smothers the instinct to strive and excel is counterproductive. Of course, these things are exactly what characterize the federal government's attempts at welfare, and we have all seen examples of this with our own eyes. The redistribution of wealth is wrong. It is against the Constitution. It transgresses the principles of justice and morality to take from those who have earned and give to those who have not, and it violates the unalienable right to property. People do not have the right to vote away or legislate away the liberty or property of another. Redistribution of wealth is completely outside of the proper purpose of government.